Hi guys. Right, I was going to record a video yesterday. Um, I basically come back skiing, and I just wanted to emphasize that there's really not that much going on. Sometimes you just need to kind of step away from the charts and just chill out. So what I started doing was recording a video halfway down the mountain like I did in January, and then thought to myself, I'll probably give a little bit of extra detail. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play first of all just a summary from what I said yesterday, and then I'm going to go into the chart straight after this. Okay.
Hey guys, I've decided to do another Bitcoin video from the slopes. In the grand scheme of things, nothing's changed. Take some more time off. I've decided to come back and enjoy the mountains again.
Okay, so you kind of get the general idea, right? As I've said in the last 20 streams, there's not really that much going on. If you followed me or you've been following Paul's daily streams, you kind of understand what we've said over this last year. We've done really no different to where we are right now. We've done nothing that's been a shock or a surprise in terms of the overall vision. And I've even covered this in some of the Trade and View posts, right? So again, if you don't follow us on Trade and View, worth following, my profile, Paul's profile, etc., right? So my last one on the 17th of March was titled "Take the Stress Out of Bitcoin," right? And for a very good reason. If you look back at what I was saying last March, all we've done is we've gone weekly 3, down for a weekly 4, up for a weekly 5, which in essence has created a monthly 3. Okay. Now, this was already mapped out, like I said, over a year ago. We then followed the price as we went up and through. In August last year, so August the 24th, I was actually talking about why we were likely to go from a 3 down for a 4 and up to a new all-time high. And the idea there was already in the Fibonacci extensions that we would go very, very little above a new all-time high, so 65k plus, and we would actually see 40k again very quick, right? So the logic was there going back as far as March last year as to why we would see the drop from that 65k range, right? So although we went up to 69, 4k and something like that on a weekly move is not really a stress, right? The grand scheme of things was that we were going to be seeing a truncated 5, which would equal the monthly 3. And that's exactly what we've done, right? So going back to August, right, we were at this kind of move around here. So the end of August, look, we were up there on the top. We were dropping down for the 4 and up for a 5, which, first move was the 65. I didn't like the Fibonacci extensions, which is why the second one for me is the preferred 3 on the monthly time frame, right? So you can see that that move there that I've just highlighted here to there was exactly the same as this one here to there, right? So it was already mapped out, right? Now, the general idea, when we've come up and to this level, the reason that I keep saying, look, don't stress out. This is nothing that, is shocking, nothing exciting. Just take some time out. Take some time away from the charts. Live a little bit of life. There's more to life than just this Bitcoin move, right? Now, in terms of where we are right now, the second question that I get, right, there's this kind of three parts to this. So, second question I get is somebody's actually gone and seen another guru or what they class as a master trader. Now, guys, if you've got to put master in front of yourself as a trader, clearly, there's something wrong, right? You've got to be looking at this with a realistic viewpoint. You've got to look at the overall bias and you've got to understand where we are in essence in the roadmap, right? Now, whether you're a master trader or whether you're a guru, right, it doesn't really matter. Price is doing its own thing. Just respect price, right? Price action is always going to be king. So when I look at the actual moves from an Elliott perspective, right now, I'm not an Elliottician by any means. I use it, I know it, I've traded it for 15 years. However, I've kind of dumbed it down. I've simplified it because I'm not interested in every little swing. I'm looking at this purely based on the bias. Then there's a few other techniques that we teach that will actually take it and give you, entries, exits, and logic as to why value areas are created, how they're created, where they're created, and so on, so on. So, in essence, when I look at this move, right, we've done a couple of things. I personally don't feel the A is in, and I feel like this for a couple of reasons. First of all, we are on a monthly move down, right? So you have to go 3 monthly. If I'm now looking at the weekly time frame, swing here, A, B, C, D, E would actually give me my A, right? Now, again, if you're using Elliott as the bias, and I'm using this on a weekly time frame for a monthly move, I'm actually looking at this with a view of saying, well, I kind of know where we are. We know that after a large impulsive or motive move, which was the weekly 4 to 5, 70% plus of the time, you're likely to expect a zigzag. Zigzag starts off with a 5 wave move. This to me looks very much like a 5 wave move, right? Next argument I get is basically, well, what if the A is already in and we're up for a B? We have to realize, right? And I'm going to say this slowly. Think about this logically, right? Think about this slowly. Think about this all the way through the process. Composite Man, the large institutional players, are trying to sucker retail traders in with FOMO to take this to the moon, right? Now, when you understand from an Elliott perspective roughly where we are, without going into every micro swing, you really have to understand that a 0 to 1 move is almost mirrored in A to B move on the corrective pattern. And the reason and the logic for that is to sucker people in, right? Many people have in FOMO, oh, this is already the bottom. We're already at this, we're probably likely to go to 275K. Nah, bullshit, right? Now, the reason that you need to understand this, and I'm going to keep this very slow in terms of the explanation of this, is that if you look at the difference between this move here and this move here, right? All we're doing is a similar thing as you'd expect to see in a 2 and a 4 on the motive moves to the upside, right? So we're actually having a different move, but it's the same move overall, right? Now, in some terms, you could regard this as a bear flag, right? And again, logic for that, we're already above the 50% on the stochastic. It's a lagging indicator, which means this week is going to be pretty bullish by the looks of this one candle. And therefore, we're likely to already be at an overbought situation on the weekly time frame, as well as already there on the daily, which kind of gives me the A, right? So my opinion hasn't changed, right? Regardless of master traders and this, I couldn't give a shit, right? My opinion is this is where I am, right? I'm seeing this move right now on a smaller time frame. The next part or the third part of the question that I've seen, and I've had this even inside the Discord group, right? I was looking at this move being an ascending move, right? My bias is still down, right? I'm not bearish. I'm just not bullish on this just yet, right? I might actually trade the A to B move as a whole, but this isn't it. One, because of the volume, right? Now, a lot of people will say to me about the volume is, oh, the price is higher. Well, the price is lower than up here, and yet we had bigger volume over here than down there. So again, don't give me the argument on the volume, right? If you look at this particular move where we are right now, we've got some kind of wedge forming in here, right? Lending itself to overbought stochastic, ascending move, drop. A for me, that's where we are, right? If you look at the move that I'm looking at and why I'm saying it's still lower, you have to take into consideration and take into account really that the move that we're seeing right now is we've got a high, we've got a lower high, we've got another lower high. This one here has only just tagged, right? But I don't like this move again. The volume there is two up and two down. It's just a fake move, right? Probably some kind of manipulation sitting in there. So I'm going to ignore this one right now. And I'm going to say, right now, unless we take out this previous high, we're still in a lower high type structure. So for me, we've got the lower highs, coming down. We've got the A bias. We've got overbought stochastics. That's one of the reasons I don't feel that we're anywhere near a B just yet, right? Now, you could be looking at this and say, well, what if we're in this now from here and we've actually got, a higher high, but we then come in with a lower high. So even if you treat this as the A, the B is all over the place. And what you'd expect to see from a B is a trick move designed to sucker people in, which maybe in some regard is working. There's a lot of people going, I've missed the bottom, I want to get in. Fine, crack on. But overall, you have to understand the logic of Composite Man and the bigger players as to how they sucker you guys in. Okay. So I've covered, like I said, quite a bit of this in various videos, various posts, streams, etc., etc., etc. But if you don't follow, like I said, myself or Paul, it's probably worth you going through some of our posts. I'm just trying to find, like even the roadmap update, for example. What else do we have here? So I think the roadmap update number 2 or 3 probably worth a read. And then I think this one here. So the roadmap update, um, you can actually see from the top, from the bottom, from that move which was the August one. Why obviously the call up to the 65. You can kind of see where we are in the overall move. Why it's kind of not that interesting at the moment. And I think, like I said, given that it is a monthly move, I probably will have a little dabble at the AB move as a whole. But in terms of where we are right now, are we going to the moon from here? Definitely not. What else have we got? So I think that's pretty much it. Given, like I said, I am away at the moment, so I'm back next week. There's nothing really else to see. That's my summary. That's kind of my opinion and my view at the moment. It's kind of how I feel about it. I don't feel there's anything kind of pressing and anything urgent, and therefore I'm gonna leave it like that for now. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week when I'm back. So thanks for watching, guys.